The signal tower. Alignment before action. No one used the roads anymore. They existed only as memories, long gray scars running through the land, pointing to places that no longer kept their promises. Jonah knew better than to follow them. He moved through the low hills with measured steps, guiding the handcart beside him as the early light crept over the horizon. Metal rattled softly beneath the canvas cover tools. Wire, salvaged parts, and a radio transmitter that had once been part of something bigger. For months now, Jonah had been chasing the idea of rebuilding the signal tower. A structure from before the fall, tall enough to speak across miles. If it worked, it could reconnect scattered settlements, maybe even save lives. Everyone told him the same thing. You need more people, more supplies, more protection. Jonah had listened. And still, nothing moved forward. Every plan he forced fell apart. Every rushed decision led to broken equipment or wasted days. The harder he pushed, the more resistance seemed to rise from the land itself. By mid-morning, his legs ached and his patience thinned. Ahead, the tower appeared crooked and skeletal, its upper half twisted from years of neglect and storms. He stopped short of it. Not from fear, but from something quieter. The same feeling he'd learned not to ignore. Jonah set the cart down and sat in the dry grass. For once, he didn't reach for his tools. Is less than #0. 4 is greater than. Didn't start measuring, planning, fixing. Instead, he breathed. What do I actually want this to become? He asked himself. Not what should happen. Not what I think I must force. The answer came slowly, like a dawn rather than a lightning strike. Connection. Ease. A sense that rebuilding didn't have to feel like war. As he stayed with that feeling, the tight urgency he'd been carrying softened. His breath deepened. His thoughts slowed enough to line up instead of collide. Only then did he stand. Jonah walked the base of the tower, not searching desperately, but observing. The damage wasn't where he'd assumed. The structure wasn't failing from the top, it was anchored poorly at the ground. He smiled faintly. Of course it was. The work that followed was steady, not frantic. He reinforced supports, replaced corroded bolts, rested when his hands trembled. This was doing his best. Not pushing through exhaustion. Not proving anything to anyone. As afternoon leaned toward evening, a sound carried on the wind. Footsteps. Jonah turned to see a young woman approaching, her pack light, her posture relaxed but alert. She stopped a short distance away, hands visible, eyes curious. Didn't expect to find anyone out here, she said. I didn't expect to, Jonah replied, surprised by how calm his voice felt. She introduced herself as Mira. She'd been following a feeling more than a map, she said. Something about this place had pulled her off the road. Jonah laughed softly at that. They worked together without needing to discuss it much. She knew wiring. He knew structure. Their efforts overlapped naturally, without strain. When the sun finally dropped below the hills, Jonah connected the last cable. He hesitated before flipping the switch. Not from doubt, but from respect for the moment. The radio hummed, then crackled, then cleared. A voice came through, faint but unmistakably human. Mira's eyes widened. Jonah felt something settle inside his chest that he hadn't realized was missing. It wasn't the success that mattered most. It was how they'd arrived there. Alignment first. Action second. As the stars came out, Jonah realized something else too. When you stop forcing outcomes, help shows up. People show up. Paths open that effort alone could never carve. The tower stood steady against the dark sky, no longer a ruin, but a promise. Jonah rested his hands on the cool metal and smiled not because he'd worked hard, but because he'd finally worked times aligned asterisk.